Let's have a look at the teams then. And well, I make this one of the strongest lineups of recent times for Loughborough, with the headline probably the return of fly half and Red Rose Helena Rowland, back for her first game since injury in the Six Nations against Italy. She's been champing at the bit since the broken finger. She'll be behind a pack that sees Abby de Good offer Kath O'Donnell a rest on the bench as the returning USA duo of Tredder and Matai Tonga strengthen the starting 15. Nelson and Scarrett paired as 12 and 13 for the first time this season, with debutant Ajay and Sere awaiting a first PWR bow from the bench. And for Saracens, well, proof you can leave out half a dozen internationals from your starting lineup and find a few more amongst others to still be strong. 5 changes in the pack see Tremelling, Field, Rose, Cosolo and De Goody rotated in, while in the backs Infante, Faris and McKenna are 3 names to bolster any team sheet. Gregson has taken her confidence from the international stage into scoring for club with 3 tries in her last 2 games. And on the bench, Ayla Alejandro, who helped Saris lift silverware in the cup this season, herself a former Lightning player. Well, Sophie de Goody is alongside Sarah McKenna. McKenna as co-captain this week, captain Canada herself. Just 24 years of age, speechless after that historic first beating of the Black Ferns in Christchurch, no less. It's basically the holy altar of New Zealand rugby. I can imagine there might be a few more World Player of the Year nods lined up for the Canadian. And what about Sarah McKenna? Joined Sarries in 2013. I don't know if we're calling Alex Good the Sarah McKenna or whether we call Sarah McKenna the Alex Good of Saracens, but she certainly won a couple of titles in her time. And Loughborough Lightning, led out by Rachel Malcolm, she really is Mrs. Dependable. Started every PWR match of the season, 24 consecutive tests going back to 2022. And Helen Nelson, 3rd game at 12 this season. She's been 8 at 10, 3 at 15. Made her 50th club appearance against Bristol in February, but will be alongside Emily Scarrett, with, of course, Helena Rowland, welcomed back in that 10 shirt. 10 starts across 10 matches. Nathan Smith talking about how keen she's been to get going. How many injured fingers over the course of your career you go, Moni? They just feel inconsequential enough to not keep you out of the game, but actually you need your hands a little bit in rugby, don't you? You do.
I remember dislocating my fingers down at Sandy Park. Because I'm dramatic, I thought that might have been me. I was going to retire. I soldiered on.
Well done. Harry Waldown then is our man in charge, as we just saw. Neil Chivers, Mike Woods, our assistants. TMO is Dan Jones. Sharifa Cosolo, another one of those in the Saracens lineup. His rugby journey started at Loughborough University. Catherine Tredder, another one of those with a brilliant story, the Alaskan native from Anchorage. So a slight end-of-term feeling at Sint Stadium at Franklin's Gardens. All kickoffs taking place at the same time. Zoe Harrison sending the first kick into the skies, and it just about manages to bounce and cross the requisite 10 metres. Rowland's first impact. Send that up field, and a little bit loose at the back from Sarah McKenna. On for Harrison. Just trying to find a little bit of room to send away Scottish international Corinne Grant. Infante for Harrison. Looking at this as a part cross-field effort. Matai Tonga wasn't able to take it, so it's worked out nicely for the Canadian Faris. And McKenna recognising that she was the first one to be able to get there and play the service away. Former England Sevens player as well. Tough weekend for the Team GB crew in Madrid. Now De Goody, always capable of making something happen. But our commentators cursed her beautifully there.
Yeah, it's been 1 minute 15 seconds of slightly frantic play, just not quite being there, the intent to want to play, whether it's the crossfield kicks or the short kickoff. But the handling has either stunted some of the carries or has gone to ground. So almost no surprise that the first attacking set here ends with a knock-on, but a quality piece of defence there from Loughborough Lightning.
Arguably came back off Helen Rowland there. 8 tries. And this her 9th match in the PWR for De Goody. All-round player of high class. But it's Loughborough Lightning. Scarrett hauling out the big one. Oh, and that's nice to find the room on the outside for Westcombe Evans. And she's been in great try-scoring form recently. And Westcombe Evans takes the outside around McKenna, looking for the corner. Oh, it's a brilliant last-ditch tackle from Faris.
I think Faris has made a try-saving tackle there.
Yeah, go down, come to teammate.
But everything about the last 45 seconds was such high quality. Look at this. Lovely ball out front. I'll tell you what, from Emily Scarrett, throws it into the space. And then it's just one-on-one. Backs herself to get in and around. But watch Faris now chasing down. That's the initial contact. Has she done enough? Westcombe Evans tries to get the fend out. Looking really good there. Let's just keep an eye on that left leg. In fact, I think she scored it. She scored. Oh, no, it's still not down. Oh, she's in touch. What a try-saving tackle.
Brilliant effort from Paige Faris. Had a few minutes off the bench last week. One of those involved with De Goody winning that Pacific 4 series. Former Worcester player.
I'll tell you something, for me anyway, when you had those one-on-ones against the winger, there was a real pride in that competition. Front rowers get to go head-to-head. Wingers, when they get that chance in attack and defence, what a contest that was.
Also dream of a ball to run onto, wasn't it? Just floated into that space, so Westcombe Evans could be already at 100 miles an hour as she took it into the breadbasket. Sarries now working from their own 22. Harrison looking for the clearance, but it was touched backwards from Westcombe Evans and looks to try and just leap her way up the touchline. Just gone forwards.
I just really want to underline the quality of one of the best who have ever done it, which is Emily Scarrett in this pass. The confidence in her ability, and Westcombe Evans to be able to run onto that ball without breaking stride. As a former winger, there is no better pass or ball that I'd want than the one that Emily Scarrett just threw out then. Outstanding, outstanding pass. And I'll tell you something, when I look at Nelson, Rowland, Scarrett, side by side, as a trio, creates so many opportunities.
Sort of 10, 12, 13 combo that might have certain Lions selectors licking their lips.
It's a naughty trio.
It's there for Infante at the base. Saracens are perhaps going to try and apply the pressure here to get that penalty advantage, which they do from the scrum. So it's through the middle with Bridger and Gregson working nicely from Harrison, and now the chance to put this into the 22. Harry Walbaum is going to say that's not sufficient advantage from the scrum penalty. So we're going to come all the way back.
Nice combination there. Bridger and Gregson trying to bisect the defence of Loughborough Lightning. But ultimately, the base of this Saracens team, regardless of who's playing, there's a number of changes. They've earned the right to make those changes. These two together are lovely, powerful, dynamic, fast, so incisive in attack.
Yeah, Sydney Gregson, supporters player of the season.
On the cut.
With the 3rd most metres run in the PWR. She's behind Ellie Kildunn and, well, Bo Westcombe Evans, who's just added a few more with that early carry. It's loose over the top from Saracens, though. And,
Off the boot, play on, off the boot. Not out,
it was off the boot. Harry Wallbound closer than we were to be able to judge that. And it's Sadia Kabea. Scarrett just able to pull out the options as Chloe Rowley kicks that downfield, and Rowley might be the first one to get here. It's going to be a real race with a Scottish compatriot, Corinne Grant. But we're seeing some really bright moments from the home side that are causing the back three at Saracens to panic a little in the opening 5 minutes.
Emily Scarrett's just decided that she wants to create a highlights reel today. Final game of the season. She's had it off the right with the missed pass. This time off the left, and this a gorgeous little click there from Chloe Rowley, keeping that infield, allowing Loughborough Lightning to now get this line out in attack.
Loose over the top, Georgia Evans. First to get onto it, Welsh international. It was tipped on from Taylor. Harrison, long on over the top from Bridger. Little bit of miscommunication, that did go forwards. Little nudge on the outside from Grant.
Accuracy not been Saracens' friend so far. Just a couple of handling errors.
So their second row, I don't know if you saw it, she lost her feet and that's why it went round like that. You could just watch that.
Come on, clear the hookers.
Loughborough Lightning struggled a little bit in the scrum against Saracens, but if they are just to be able to get parity, when you look at it again, Rowland, Nelson, Scarrett, 10, 12, 13, and purple, as you see it. We've seen the passing ability of Scarrett and how deadly Loughborough Lightning have looked when they've got into 15 channels. Really good opportunity to get something more in attack now.
Chance for Davey to play it away. Rowland. Just trying to link up with the back three as Westcombe Evans came through and fed Rowley.
Lost now 8, good.
And now the left winger is there to feed it off. So often used to seeing Emma Wassell in that number 4 shirt. Lily Ice-Campion, who's had a brilliant season. And such a reliable option at line-out time as well. Ice-Campion into good. The options.
Complete.
Needs to be a release there. De Goody unable to get away, but Rowland will play it. Nelson, little soft inside line from Rowley, who looked to try and use the footwork, but Gregson held on to her in the tackle. Rowley again onto another good performer, Hibbert Jones. To good. They do have Kath O'Donnell on the bench. Matai Tonga, Scarrett feeding on the outside. It wasn't Westcombe Evans that time, it was Rachel Malcolm, who probably by her own admission is not going to have quite the rocket boots. But it's Emily Scarrett who's shaking the head.
But it's all Loughborough, isn't it? When you look at the attack, whether it's playing short, trying to connect the dots with their lovely handling, or the missed pass out wide, it's Loughborough Lightning that have come with all the attack and accuracy. Saying that, still 0-0.
The Saracens have the best strike rate when they get to the 22, and Loughborough will be pleased to be playing the rugby up this end, but opportunities are going to have to try and turn to points at some stage. McKenna keeps it alive off the floor for Gregson. Infante off for Taylor. Harrison charged down into the hands of Scarrett, who's just having a little scan to see what was on.
No advantage, accidentally into their own player, so scrum.
The accidental offside will give Loughborough Lightning another attacking chance here.
Well, this is it. Whether it's Loughborough Lightning creating their own chances for their own handling and lines of running, or some of Saracens' inaccuracy. We've seen knock-ons and accidental offside, just booting the ball. I mean, it must have really stung. But that level of accuracy, which is so synonymous, I've got to say this and contextualise everything. 11 changes in the 23, in a game which, ultimately, Saracens just don't need to win. That's the result. However, the performance, and when we look at a squad, you do want to create momentum getting into those big matches, semi-final next weekend, so they will be looking for a really strong performance, especially for people given opportunities today.
Meg Davey just watching that scrum, waiting to see if she can get it away. Infante ready to put the pressure on, but then backs away. And it's over the top from Rowland. Then it's been knocked on from McKenna. Didn't quite sit for Loughborough. Defensively didn't quite work for Sarries. The pressure enough, at least. But Lightning will just have that scrum now over on the far side.
I'll tell you, some options here. Accuracy, and I've got to say, Sydney Gregson, she gets up and puts so much pressure on the handling of Loughborough Lightning. McKenna also with an intercept as well. So that Wolfpack defence had enough of watching and applauding Loughborough Lightning.
Certainly did right to find the right people in that move, because those that ran the dummy lines all seemed to get wrapped up in tackles, so probably worthwhile that none of them were fed the ball. But it didn't quite work on the outside channel.
Just both hits up here. Both make sure we're hitting, not down.
Was a late change for Saracens. They had originally named Akina Gondwe. Carmen Tremelling stepping up. Chloe Flanagan moving on to the bench up against Laura Keats. Fourth start for Keats since joining Loughborough after that first one that was 3 weeks ago. It had been 2 years before that last start in the PWR for the Rugby World Cup winner Keats. Scarrett now, that's a shorter ball for Chloe Rowley, who goes through the hole and uses the footwork. Chloe Rowley stepping in a phone box, finishing the try, and Lightning have first blood.
Well, Lightning have struck first here, haven't they? And it's been coming for a little while. Saracens passive in their defence, but Lightning just so sharp with their attack. And it's once again Emily Scarrett at the heart of it. Their ability to be able to use their ball passers, playmakers, as well as the incisive line. Look at that timing from Scarrett. Rolly through and then bang off the right, accelerating away from Zoe Harrison as she's over that first try. The timing and the lines of running, everything about this makes it just so lovely. There's one thing to be put into space, there's another thing to take it, and Rolly, well, she does both of those.
Second match back after being at fullback against Ealing last week. Of course, caught that ban in the Guinness Run of Six Nations against Italy. There was support arriving on both shoulders. I don't know if it was near enough, and it's just as well because Rowley backed herself to finish. Another look at this. She
did, yeah. You think that inside ball is on, but if you're not going to take the pass, as you rightly said, you better finish, and my word, she does exactly that. We chatted to Sarah pre-match about Loughborough Lightning's 5th position. Well, I think what we've seen so far, albeit, once again, against the Saracens, shorn of so many internationals, just when they can get their best players fit and connected together, the quality that they can produce, we're seeing it already.
Had a chance to chat to Emma Wassell, who is here watching on down below us, and while this is the last game of the regular season, while Loughborough Lightning can't push into a top 4 or get any more out of it, there is a very different feel to things around the club than perhaps a year ago, where their identity, the direction wasn't necessarily right as they would have liked, and Nathan Smith has worked on that. They know where they're headed, they know what's to come of them. They've got, by all accounts, half a dozen signings to be unveiled over the course of the next few weeks and months, and well, this strengthening lineup, they haven't quite been able to wheel this sort of machine out of the garage too often this season, and they're determined to show at the end of this season what we might see a bit more of at the start of next. And it's Rowley again, and Westcombe Evans nearly ran out of turf, but did well to stay in. Rowland, then on to Good. Rowland again decides to chuck the dummy. Got a real threatening running game as well, Helena Rowland. Matai Tonga, USA international, back in after playing with the Eagles in that Pac 4 series.
Terry Loughborough Lightning shape at the moment. It's really nice, playing inside, outside, going down the short side and get some real flow momentum into their passing.
Just stuttered for a minute, didn't it? But Daisy Hibbert-Jones happy to get through the gap and go forwards. Oh, but it's been stolen by De Goody.
Holding, knock on there.
And in fact,
first player lifted the ball. It
will be the penalty after Loughborough got themselves just slightly isolated, not quite getting there in number, but again building well into the Saracens 22.
Sophie De Goody, absolutely sensational there. I just don't know why it's a penalty, by the way.
Are we going to get it every time I give a penalty?
Ref said holding on. We can't be holding on. Sophie De Goody's got the ball in her hands. But here we go. This is it, as Loughborough Lightning just stop building, getting through the phases. Look how quick, clear release there, bang, ball in our hands, outstanding. For me, I'd love to see those as play on, because the ball's been turned over.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether holding on happened, but Harry Walbaum will be the man who knows. Saracens now, well, tiptoeing into the Loughborough Lightning half. Area of the pitch they've not been very much over the first 16.5 minutes.
Bound in by number 1, bound in, legal.
Helena Rowland in a legal position, as you heard from the referee. Harrison, midfield dink. Matai Tonga did well, just to get down on that.
That's superb, I've got to say, Matai Tonga. Oh! Off the feet, inaccuracy at 2 rucks now. We've given Saracens. Oh, Leanne Infante goes quick.
Yeah, I think Emily Scarrett tried to get over that to help secure it, but just went forward and lost her body weight, so gave away the penalty. And now this is allowing Saracens to come forward with Donna Rose. We know the 3-time champions can be so dangerous in this area. Helen Nelson calling the recruitment back around that side as McKenna nearly manages to dance all the way through. Oh, and the reach out and the score. Sharifa Kasolo. Well, that is ruthlessness from Saracens. They are so good in this area. More points per attacking 22-metre entry than any other side in the Allianz Premiership Women's Rugby, and 3.5 points each entry. Well, they're in there. They've got themselves 5.
It's excellent, isn't it? Saracens had enough of watching, being a spectator in this game. A couple of decent penalties. De Goody, off feet from Scarrett. And the moment you give Saracens that level of territory, and it's a gorgeous offload there, McKenna, who places it so well. And then that power game from Kasolo, from just a few metres out, equals things here at the Gardens.
Started that rugby journey at Loughborough. It was then when she was playing with Blackheath, playing at county level with Kent, that she was spotted by Sarah McKenna. Great story. Second try of the season for Kasolo after one against Leicester. Now we're all square, 7 points apiece.
Decent game, isn't it?
Certainly is. Infante back in for Harrison, eyeing up a decent exit, which she will get.
How good, how simple.
Just hear Alex Osterbury shouting, well done, next job. He's reading from the book of 5 catchphrases that coaches shout from the stands.
Yeah, Zoe Harrison, it's one of her hallmarks. Length of kicking. It's efficient, isn't it?
Down from Ives Campion. Rowland. Cabea. Scarrett. Rowland again. They're just trying to keep that pace of attack quick. Matai Tonga recognising that Kasolo was coming across. That looked slightly high, and they will be the advantage played. Nelson then on for Cabea, who gets low and drives through Welsh international Rose. And Nelson again looking at the option, trying to free the hands through. Scarrett then at first receiver.
Lightning playing, getting lots of possession. They almost don't want this advantage to go away. I'd be happy to take the penalty kick to the corner because they actually made no meters from where that infringement took place.
No advantage, we'll go back to penalty. High number 13.
So this will be a chance
Okay, tell him, just over here, sorry.
for Roland to take that kick. Yeah, it would have been a fair amount of expending of energy playing under that advantage rather than just getting a chance to take these meters.
Okay. Sarries, line's yours.
Yeah, it's a good decision. Some nice handling again. Rolly under pressure there. Nothing more than just the penalty. See, Gregson just goes over the shoulder, Mai Tai Tonga.
Cabea ships it on for Treader. Oh, it's a lovely bit of footwork from Nelson. Nelson driving towards the line, stopped just short. Quick ball. Lightning threatening a second try here. Offloaded for Malcolm, who will drive at Casolo. Ever so close there.
Hands up! Carnage offside.
Now there's another penalty, but they might have just got through and got the try. Harry Walbaum is going to potentially go upstairs. Will we?
As I've got round there, I've got the ball held up over the line.
Get the view that we need on it. I'll finish that sentence.
If not, we'll go back for a penalty advantage offside.
Yeah, on field held up.
On-field is
just
no
checking try.
Yeah.
Laura Keats certainly got low enough to bring about the cheers from her teammates.
They were convinced, weren't they? Try's been scored.
There goes Keats. Certainly looked like there were some arms and legs underneath that.
It's going to be hard to overturn the on-field decision, which currently is held up. Got to find conclusive evidence. Unless anyone's got X-ray cameras or eyes, I think this is going to just be a penalty to Loughborough Lightning. I think Saracens done a brilliant job there.
That one's not going to be the one to tell us. Probably are.
Yeah, Harry, I have a decision for you. You can stick with your on-field decision of held up.
Okay.
And go back for the penalty.
It's going to be held up. We'll go back for a penalty offside. Okay. No try, held up. We'll go back for a penalty offside. Offside.
By the way, how brilliant was Helen Nelson's line off the line-out just to put them in that position. Interesting
Okay,
choice now. They've taken the scrum. What's now fascinating for me is how they split up the trio of Scarrett, Nelson, Roland. Roland has so much pace, and between the three of them, so much ball-playing ability. But how they choreograph this next play is going to be fascinating.
It's also Chloe Rowley's feet. How do they back her in on one-on-one? They've put Rowley over on the right, opposite Zoe Harrison.
Crouch.
And it's Roland, Nelson, Scarrett to the left. They've got to get the ball from the scrum, first of all, and Saracens are going to have plenty to say here. But it holds well. Hibbert-Jones picks herself, will go herself.
Rock, no hands.
Hugo Monye's frustrated we didn't see the backs get the ball first phase. Oh, but it's penalty, Saracens.
Number 8 on her feet.
Got themselves in a position to rescue it. And who else? Sophie de Goody. Captain Canada, co-captain Saracens for the first time. Let's come off the outside of the boot, though. And while Saracens would, or sorry, Loughborough were just trying to work out where they needed to be for the line-out, Helena Rowland said, hold on a minute. We might just be playing this live. Cabea, dummies inside, 22. Rowland managed to get that away just in time for Isla Curfey. Rowley Scoura frees the arms, gets it back away for Nelson, and now they might have the room for Westcombe Evans. Bo Westcombe Evans. 9th try of the season. Scored 4 against Quins a fortnight ago. Well, she's got a 2nd for Lightning in their bid to beat Saracens for the first time. It was beautifully worked.
It's a brilliant finish, but this is poor from Saracens. One missed kick to touch, and they get massively punished for this. So well taken here from Helena Rowland. Goes down the shore side, ends up looking after the ball, and then the patience just to build through the phases. Scarrett does so well here, by the way. Stands up in the tackle, that ball to get away, they cannot recover. Nelson to Westcombe Evans. Loughborough Lightning's 2nd try. It's really nice, isn't it? But Rolly, Scarrett just keeping the ball alive. 2nd time of asking, she gets over for her 1st try.
Scarrett then. Chance to add the extras. Fans on the far side with the groan will tell you it's not quite made it, but it has been a really bright start for the home side. Let's hear how Nathan Smith's feeling. He's with Ashley Wilmot.
Thanks, Nick. Nathan, what an explosive start from your side. Really putting the pressure on this Saracens team. What have you made of the opening 25 minutes?
No, we've been brilliant. We've done exactly what I've wanted us to do. Be brave with the ball, keep it high energy, high tempo, keep them moving around, and I think we've done that. I think also Saracens showed how deadly they can be when they get into the 5, so it's just limiting and keep limiting those opportunities for them to get in there.
What's been the messaging this week ahead of this one? When you know the outcome, you know you're going to finish 5th in the league.
To be fair, last 4 weeks has never really been about. It's not really been about an outcome. It's not been about finishing 5th. It's not been about. It's about growing our game, and it's just another opportunity to do that. We've certainly looked at the last 4 weeks as how we can grow our game moving into next year, because obviously we want to be challenging top 4 sides.
I've got to say, Emily Scarrett out to make a bit of a highlights reel today.
Well, she got a pretty good one already, to be fair. I don't think she needs today, but yeah, she's been brilliant. She's been exceptional since she's come back. She's been playing in a position she's comfortable with, so long may that continue.
It's been your first season with the team. Just how much have you enjoyed it, and also what would it mean to get this historic win over Saracens today?
No, I've really enjoyed coaching this group. There's some really good players and some really good talent coming through the pathway. So yeah, no, it's been pretty enjoyable.
Great to speak to you. Best of luck today.
Pretty enjoyable. That's as effusive as Nathan Smith gets, by the way. Oh, that's just gone forward, straight into the hands of Casolo. Oh, but then the ball was lost forwards by Donna Rose as she tried to barge her way through the bar.
Interesting interview there with Ashley Wilmot. And I think it has been a fascinating period the last few weeks of Loughborough Lightning. We were here a couple of weeks ago, weren't we, up against Gloucester Hartpury. I don't think they kicked the ball to a 37th minute. And I just think it underlines how they're just trying to foster this attacking intent. They've got so many wonderful players and runners and ball. I mean, there you are. Helena Rowland, I think, is one of the best all-round players on the planet. She is that good. And when you look down that back line, I just think actually going out there, exploring and expressing themselves will make them so much of a better side for next season.
Largely without Scarrett until February. It's almost as if having your international class players back makes a difference, isn't it? But it certainly is. And the option of getting a few more people back and a few other names in the hat for next season will be another reason for those in the Africa Violet to be excited.
Is that what it is, Africa Violet?
Certainly is.
Okay, cool. We were just talking colour palettes of Sarah before the match.
What's your favourite?
Well, I described my shirt as sun-bleached denim, but Sarah wasn't having it. She said it was white.
I think you'd make a good estate agent. Pick from the back. De Goody for Infante. Missed pass from Harrison, finding Gregson. Good strength from Sydney Gregson, accompanied by Bridger, to keep going forwards in that tackle. De Goody freed the hands, but it's just slightly overrun. Questions being asked of Loughborough defensively as Georgia Evans finds Farris. Matai Tonga with the tackle. Infante, Harrison, Rose. Just trying to catch that inside shoulder and then find room on the outside, and it's worked for them this time. Through McKenna and then Bridger. That's better from Saracens. Oh, now scrum off was played. I don't think the ball had been lifted, so now there's a penalty advantage. And we will come back for that. Sophie De Goody's already just pointing to the corner.
Well, I'll tell you something, Nick. In that last passage of play, some of her ability on the ball is just outstanding. She's so dynamic. We'll show you here now. Zoe Harrison with a decent kick down to the corner, but De Goody, this is her first start from coming back from her duties with Canada, but she's so powerful, so dynamic. Just getting quick ball momentum, getting her hands free and keeping it alive, which is just really stressing the Loughborough Lightning defence. Inevitably giving them this field position, and as you've pointed out a number of times already, when Saracens get to the 22, they are the best in the business at coming away with points. It's a real good example of what I'm talking about. Have a look at this. So flat to line, bang! Arms free, offload. That just automatically just changes. Look at Loughborough Lightning. They're on the back foot straight away. Makes it so easy for Zoe Harrison, who looks up. Just the confidence it gives you. You see Sophie De Goody, and you're like, A, she runs good lines. B, she's going to get us quick ball. And C, invariably, she'll get her hands free and just continue that momentum to be able to reintegrate her back into this side, getting invaluable minutes. Perfect timing.
We've seen her doing it defensively as well, haven't we? She's already got a turnover in this game. Came into this with 10 over the course of the league already. Like I said earlier, all court game from Sophie De Goody. Takes conversions and everything. Outrageous.
You know, there'll be some people watching in today that may not have watched a huge amount of PWR, but someone like Sophie De Goody, to make comparison, which you shouldn't always do, but think of John Eales, Zinzan Brooke. She is that good. She does everything.
Okay, play staying on.
Sydney Gregson just getting back to her feet. She was a little bit tight coming into this one. There was a question mark or two pre-game as to whether she would
Okay, send them on, mate.
perform. Nothing too serious, but you just wonder whether they might opt to roll the change. And in fact, Ayla Alejandro is going to be joining the fray.
Okay, complete. Just hold, Mike, let me put time on.
So Gregson coming off. That looks like it will be a permanent change. Sarah McKenna will move into that Saracen centre position as the visitors look to try and load from the maul. Volume going up from Leanne Infante to try and spur the forwards on. It's paused. Donna Rose has broken away and Laura Keats will bring her down. Then another close pick and drive.
Offside, fully on, good.
Saracens so lethal in this part of the field.
Tacklers off.
Infante. De Goody. Well stopped by Cabella. Emma Taylor. Another Canadian. Then it's there for McKenna. She looked like she was pointing the other way as Helen Nelson comes in and makes the tackle. But now there's another advantage, and it's Rose. Burrows low. Infante dummies and goes. Oh, that experience from Leanne Infante. 2 World Cups. Over 50 capper for England, and able to dart as the defence looks a little wider for where the threats might come.
We mentioned the goodie just before, but just sucking in a number of defenders, Cabella included. Get round the corner on that penalty advantage, and Leanne Infante, that's class sniping. It's quite nice when the game actually breaks up and just gives you an obvious blueprint as to how the teams want to play. It's not like we don't know about the threats of Saracens, but my word, they just keep underlining their quality whenever they get into the opposition 22. Haven't been able to do it often enough, and in fact, of the 2 teams, you wouldn't have suggested that Saracens would be in front after 32 minutes in this game.
Two visits, 2 tries. Saracens with their noses in front for the first time. Harrison, plenty of time to eye that one up.
Yeah, I don't really know as to why you'd kick directly to Zoe Harrison. Massive boot.
Sarries, just on the edge.
Well, plenty more rugby to enjoy over the course of the season. It is the Gallagher Premiership final next week at Twickenham. Northampton taking on Bath. If the semis have been anything to go by, then my goodness me, we're in for a cracker. TNT Sports 1 Saturday from 2 p.m. And then we have our semi-finals in the PWR on Sunday. What a weekend of rugby to enjoy on TNT Sports from 1:30. Both semi-finals taking place over the course of the day.
Penalty.
Watch them on TNT or stream live on Discovery Plus.
Deliberate.
Good decision here.
From 15.
McKenna deliberately just slapping the ball down in defence. Was given Helen Rowland. I want to punch this as deep as she can and see what she can make of this kick. So that's pretty decent. So here we go, watch McKenna's left hand. Just blocking off that channel for Scarrett. There's probing.
Straight down off the top. Rowland waiting for it. Nelson, Matai Tonga across from the right. Also wanted to just try and get that run on the inside shoulder, but Sophie Bridger stayed in the fight. Malcolm. Got options off to the right, but it's largely forwards dominated, and so Rowland will look at the left-hand side where Chloe Rowley will have to take the tackle of Grant. Dummy from Nelson. She gets around well, Nelson. So used to seeing her in a 10 shirt where she's spent most of the season, particularly in the absence of Helena Rowland. Showing well today at 12, but that is going to be a Saracen scrum.
I like Nelson at 12. Really like her at 12. It's mad when you think Scarrett's there. I know we focused a lot on these, but with Nelson and with Rowland, 2 quality players who can play in a number of different positions.
Started all 24 tests for Scotland in the last couple of years, along with Captain Fantastic Rachel Malcolm. 5th season with Loughborough Lightning.
6. Make sure we wait. You've got to take a reasonable amount there. You can't just step off.
Superb player.
Mark's there.
Rachel Malcolm. Quality human being as well, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a 4th place finish for Scotland in that Guinness Women's Six Nations. They're into WXV2. There with Italy.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Good. Stay square. Okay.
Scrum's holding.
Yeah, stationary.
Infante will play it. McKenna. Then Harrison on the wraparound. Now the long feed to find Alejandro, the replacement. Bounces through initially. Matai Tonga. To Goody. Harrison. Taylor. Looking to use the forearm and just blow away through. Lateral from Saracens, not quite getting the punch through, just a couple of metres if you're looking at game line, but that's a little bit better from Bryony Fields. Harrison, Scarrett managed to come up quickly.
Not out. Good.
Testing that offside line. Harrison, another little look at what the options might be. It was ripped by Cabella. They'll get the knock on, they'll celebrate it like it's a score, Loughborough Lightning. Harrison might well complain. Super from Cabella.
Yeah, it's good defensive set, wasn't it? Saracens had plenty of ball.
Mark's there.
And Sadio Cabella, another one, another tackle, most tackles in this season's PWR. What a player she's becoming. World class.
I'll get out of your way as quick as I can.
Right up there. Took on a bit of the England captaincy as well when Marley Packer was off the field.
Crouch. Bind.
During that Guinness Women's Six Nations, just
Set.
being developed in terms of leadership under John Mitchell. Davey for Rowland. Scarrett coming onto it. Then the deep runner was Nelson. Westcombe Evans has had to control that with the boot, and she's done that really well. Steps around a few players as well. Last minute of the first half. Quickly released out the back. Scarrett will have to deal with it. She floats it over. That's where she hoped someone else other than Catherine Tredder was, but Tredder finds her way to the ball.
Assist off.
Ives Campion. Nelson had to whip that away pretty quick for Abby de Good. Thought for a minute there was going to be the turnover for Georgia Evans, but she couldn't quite hold her feet and then in the process knocked it on. Those are the fine margins.
It's a big moment now, isn't it? Some lovely handling under pressure. This is the contest there. Oh, does well to stay in the fight, but just knocks the ball on. I tell you what, after the last centre field scrum that we had about 5 metres from the try line, which ended up in a Soka de Goody turnover, the one thing I think, which I'm pretty sure we won't see, is just the pick and go from Hibbert Jones.
Crouch.
Just under 40 metres out.
Bind.
Both sides to attack. You expect to see Loughborough Lightning try and get the ball through the hands.
Yeah, it was a similar position with Rowley off to the right. They're going to run that same way as well. Rachel Malcolm is going to be the one to have to play scrum half here. Service will do.
Tackle.
Davey. High one for Rowland to take. Was that knocked on? It was. It won't be anything more. And with the clock in the red, Harry Warburn will say that is that for the first half. Well, Loughborough Lightning have turned up here to try and make a bit of history. They've been playing an awful lot of rugby over that first 40 minutes. And they've got 2 tries through those efforts. Chloe Rowley with a cracker, Westcombe Evans with a good one as well. Casolo and Infante, though, hitting back for Saracens and showing that ruthlessness in the 22 that we've come to expect from the 3-time champions. At half-time, It's Loughborough Lightning 12, Saracens 14. Trailfinders score at Harlequins is quite an interesting one, isn't it? But certainly Sale putting the pressure on Bristol. They are comfortably taking 4 points there as things stand. But all games kicking off at the same time. And our second half kicking off here as Chloe Rowley picks up the ball in the backfield. 2 tries apiece after that first half. If you are just joining us, I think probably the story of it was how well Loughborough Lightning were attacking. Plenty of time in the Saracens 22. You might argue that they will have wanted more out of the time they spent in that 22, but Saracens continuing to show the sort of ruthlessness that they show. As Scarrett tries to
Tackle now.
Get the octopus hands all around Sophie de Goody to stop the threat that we know she can be. 2 points between the sides. Saracens, who have that home semi-final secure next week. Bristol and Exeter, the 2 teams that will be heading to either Stoneaxe or Kingsholm. We will know by the end of this one. As Georgia Evans takes it, careers in low off Infante. Harrison, not going to be for Rose. Taylor with the tip on. Oh, good meterage for de Goody. McKenna.
It's about as fluid as Saracens have looked, actually, number of phases, but then equally, Loughborough Lightning, no penalties given, no tackles missed. You just get the sense the last couple of phases that Saracens are starting to build a bit of momentum.
Tried to get there on the outside for Faris. Westcombe Evans all over it, and manages to wrestle the ball away. That's brilliant from Westcombe Evans, and stepping inside. Still scragged by the Saracens, and they're in a position to try and rip the turnover. Support is there from Rowland.
Huge commentator's curse that with Saracens, who are looking so comfortable. Lightning now. Oh, that's a brilliant attempt. Nothing more than a knock-on for me. Good decision there.
If eyes could kill from Emily Scarrett to referee Harry Warbaum there, I think she probably will agree with the decision, but bearing in mind the potential break on the outside, it was an attempt to catch.
I'll tell you something. This is the turnover. Misplaced ball, Westcombe Evans. So good in attack, ends up turning the ball over here. The Saracens, who look fairly comfortable up until that point, just manages to get herself through a couple of tackles. And then this is McKenna.
Crouch.
Oof.
Bind.
Well, there's Akina Gondway. Unable to take part, a late withdrawal. Having played every match this season, as Lightning go on the attack again. Westcombe Evans looking to get on the outside. Goes into touch, but yeah, bumped into Akina Gondway as she was just ruled out last minute on this match. She's blamed me entirely for saying to everybody last week that she has played every match this season, so just missing out on the perfect record. But she was also voted the club players player of the season, which is, I think, as players go, the highest accolade. So Gondway missing this week, hoping that she will be back next week. And a decent addition, having come from Worcester.
Got it over, that's good.
Really good take by de Goody,
Tackle now.
despite how far she had to tumble. Taylor. Oh, again. Seen Lightning come through a couple of times and play Infante. Rowland trying to keep that in. It's a good touch finder for the penalty.
It's a poor penalty to give away. Infante does so well. Unfortunately, did good. couldn't quite help herself.
Good footwork from Treader.
Rowland looks at the options on the outside. She looks determined to try and pull the trigger with the running game as well, but hasn't quite managed to. Side entry the call against Sarries.
Second half, not quite kicked into life yet, has it? Few mistakes, few penalties, been quite staccato.
Number 5.
I'll tell you what, someone will add a little bit of brilliance.
Now, change being made for Lightning, and we are going to see Kath O'Donnell. Red Rose trained fully with the squad. The Saracens take the line out.
Tackle away. 10 off the come.
It's just about managing O'Donnell. Played a few full games in a row, so Nathan Smith just doing the best thing by the player, managing those minutes. McKenna sending the long one over the top. It was just dropping a little bit short for Grant.
The saying in rugby goes, and I won't finish a sentence, but don't shovel. And there was a fair amount of that being shovelled. At times you've got to be direct and pragmatic, and Saracens, one of their super strengths, their territory. Get the ball up the other end of the pitch, especially when you haven't got quick ball and you are going nowhere. Just crabbing across the pitch, going side to side. Game management.
Alex Osterbury watching on. No Jess Breach, Lottie Clapp, Ella Virvas, Poppy Cleal, Marley Packer. These are the sorts of names you can expect to see back next week on Sunday for those two PWR semi-finals, both live on TNT. Scarrett, full pirouette, just looking at the options, caught in the bear trap. Now feeds Nelson, gets the call from Rowley on the outside, then feeds Westcombe Evans, who's not got much room to make anything happen. Double hit on Hannah Nelson. It nearly presented the chance to send Hibbert Jones through. Rowland again. Good carry in midfield by Tremelli. Keats. Cabea, arm up, ready to receive it, ready to do a job. Was well tackled by Casolo. Oh, and then a little nudge on the toe from Davey was that. Good awareness of that angle through to just turn Saracens back towards the touchline.
Well, that is game management. It's class. Going through phases, Saracens defending really well. Now just passing on that challenge from Davey. It's a good carry from Sadie Cabea. There's nothing really on. Saracens full line, just nonchalantly puts it on the toe. Oh, that's a well taken under pressure lineup from Sarries. Flapjack the call, which I think, I was going to say, would have been a box kick.
It's away for O'Donnell. Be ready to do the job and carries hard. Nelson, Scarrett, a little deeper to wind up the options on the outside. Below Matai Tonga for the corner. Try time, Loughborough Lightning. Turnover possession in the 22. The big wind up from Scarrett. The big finish from Matai Tonga. It's a third for the home side, and they get themselves back in the lead.
All starts from this turnover. Saracens just trying to get out of their own half. It's Helena Rowland. How about that, getting involved in the driving maul? So this is it here, play into the width. And watch Emily Scarrett, has so much time, treads water. Gorgeous pass to Matai Tonga. But watch Scarrett, the control of her feet and then the execution of that passing. She knows she wants those defenders to bite, so she keeps hold of the ball. 1, 2, 3 steps, accurate pass, quality finish.
Is it going to have enough for Scarrett? Is it going to have enough? No. Just fell short, so it's a slender 3-point advantage for Lightning. I mean, I've bored enough people about touch rugby over my time, Hugo Monnier, but when you run a good touch move in the middle, it's about having the long ball to then find the wing once you've narrowed a defence. And to have Emily Scarrett back in Loughborough Lightning's armoury, to fizz them off the right, fizz them off the left, 25-metre passes, well, it leads to scores. Certainly been responsible for setting a couple up so far today. Rachel Malcolm makes way. Ali Taufa'o coming onto the field to make it a triple of returning USA internationals. And Helena Rowland makes way as well.
Tell you what, if I was a winger, I had Helena Rowland, Nelson, Scarrett, all playing inside me, I would be so chuffed. Because the service, the quality of the balls which they provide, just give you so many opportunities.
Crouch.
So a bit of a reshuffle for Lightning with those changes then. So
Set.
Helen Nelson is on the left side as first receiver here, slipping into that 10 role. Matai Tonga will basically take up an outside centre role with Scarrett slipping to 12, but expect there to be plenty of movement around that as well. Scantlebury, the player who's come on.
Wings offside.
Treader. Scarrett. Looking to just bisect those last two players, and look at the way that ball is rolling towards the touchline. Well kept in by Grant, but has she just caused a bit of a problem for Faris, because Cabea's in there as well. They're going to have to release. Cabea wants to get in and get over it. And now she will just continue to ruck straight through. And it is coming there on the Loughborough Lightning side. Cabea took charge of it, and now it's with O'Donnell. Keats, well taken above the head. Cabea, who wrestled possession back by competing at the breakdown. Breakdown success is one of the few areas where Loughborough Lightning have a better statistic than the Saracens, and actually many in the PWR. Rowley's come across. It was well spotted by McKenna and co. O'Donnell flat-footed, as are a little bit too many of the players in African Violet. They're losing ground here a little bit. And O'Donnell really well met. Great physicality from Kasolo. Show on the outside from Taufa'o. Nelson, Scarrett. Not quite found Rolly. Corrine Grant. Westcombe Evans knew she couldn't allow her opposite number to get away there. It was a clean run to the line. Faris. Now a chance for Saracens. They've got no width at the minute, though. Ball's popped out. Nobody there. Now they've got a bit more organisation. Harrison.
No, this side.
Not quite going to be given as a 50-22. It'll just be this side of the 22, but that is effective clearance from what had been a Lightning threat.
It's what's been needed. It's Emily Scarrett of her quick, which was almost a 50-22, which created loads of pressure. Zoe Harrison was on 50 caps. Monster boot. Just relieves all of that pressure, allows the team to be able to breathe and actually just try and camp themselves up in Loughborough Lightning territory.
Treader with the defensive line out. Good competition from Sarries.
More Loughborough. That's once.
They've got to try and get this ball back, or it's going to be lost and turned over in Saracens' possession, and that is what's going to be the result. And the North Londoners just beginning to apply a bit of pressure and doing it when they're not in possession of the ball as well, which is what they're so good at.
Well, in order to build momentum, you need to start backing up one positive with another. It's first the kick, then it's the pressure from the line out. It was a turnover, then that got turned over, and the Saracens end up retaining the ball. Brilliant defensive effort there in the maul. Not only does it give them the much-needed territory, but it gives them possession just 5 metres out from Lightning's 22.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Saracens will look to get what they can out of this scrum. There's the penalty arm up from the referee.
Carnage.
Harrison. Juggle from Alejandro, then straightens. Harrison again. Only Farris and Grant on the outside.
No advantage, we'll get back.
This is how pressure builds. It's the kick, the turnover, now the scrum penalty.
Yeah.
All very foundational qualities which every good side needs. The Saracens are a very, very good side. Even though they're shorn of some of their best players, some of the best players on the planet, still the spirit of Saracens retains in them now. They are all of, is it 5 metres out? Big opportunity now.
Been outscored 3 tries to 2 so far. De Goody up in the middle. Maul engaged early. Driving towards that line. It's with Field. Penalty advantage is called. Infante's having a look for it, but they're getting close enough to the line that Bryony Field can touch it down. Effective catch and drive from Saracens. 3rd try and back into the lead as we approach the hour.
It's class, isn't it? Mentioned it just a few minutes ago, didn't I, about game management and that Zoe Harrison kick and that territory, which is so essential to how Saracens want to play. That was the foundation and the platform. Sophie De Goody does so well here to win that driving line out, and then you can hear the pack take that corner, looking for those soft edges of that Lightning maul. Fully committed to it. 5 metres travelled, 5 points scored.
Harrison with the conversion. That'll do nicely. Saracens up to 21 then. 4-point advantage over the home side.
Yeah, go ahead. Sarries sub 6 and 9.
Well, Sarries back in the lead then. They're doing it without their player of the year. Akina Gondwe is with Ashley.
Thanks, Nick. She is indeed. We were just saying every single time your team have made it into the red zone, they've come away with a score. It doesn't get much more clinical than that.
Yeah, that's what we want. Like we don't want to leave opportunities in the 22. Like when we get there, it's an important place. Like in tight games like these, we've got to come away with points. So yeah, it's important that our red zone efficiency is quite high.
And what have you made of the game so far? Are you surprised by Loughborough Lightning and how much pressure they're applying?
No, like I think when you look across the team and the team sheet that Loughborough have, like they have world class, like players like Sado Kabea, Skaz, like these are world class internationals. So like it's not going to be an easy game, like it's going to be tough. I think for us, we just need to focus on us and like work on the areas, you know, that like we want to focus on. Like our defence probably hasn't been as strong as it normally has. So yeah, just like small things like that. Like, can we focus on us? Can we work on what we need to work on so that we can come out on top?
Now, I've got to ask you while I've got you, you were voted last week the club's Players' Player of the Season. What does that mean to you, having joined at the start from your previous team?
It's unreal. Like when I joined, like I was obviously joining the club off the back of unfortunate circumstances, and like I've made some really good friends here, and like clearly made an impression, and like I'm just really enjoying it. So it's nice to be voted that.
And it's always good to speak to you, although I do know that you were meant to be on the pitch today. So what happened?
I just got a bit of a knock to the ankle in training, and I thought that I was going to pull through for the game, but just unfortunately it wasn't to be.
Well, great to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Saracens on the attack here. Oh, and they've shifted it away. It's going to be the score for Tori Sellers. Onto the field, replacing Infante, and onto the scoreboard. It's the bonus point score. Not that Sarries need it in terms of having secured that home semi-final in the PWR. But they're just beginning to show that belief and ruthlessness. And it was just inaccuracy from Lightning that gave them the platform.
Well, Kinray was just speaking about their defence and Saracens, how they need to actually be a bit better. But yes, it is quality in terms of how they're able just to transition so well. Defence was the core, wasn't it, from Akina Gondway? And defence exactly what they got. And that try is an outstanding try. But born out of them harassing and then being able to execute with their quality with ball in hand.
Yeah, centre on, mate, centre on.
Perfect record from the tee so far as well for Zoe Harrison. There's Tori Sellers on her 6th appearance, all from the bench this season for the 22-year-old. It's a try to round off term.
Thank you.
De Goody making way for Sarries. As the changes continue to be made by both teams. Grace Moore, Irish international, is onto the field. Oh, that was over the head of Helen Nelson. I was hoping it won't kick towards the 22. She's looked to try and use footwork to get there. Chloe Rowley was inside, pointing clear it, get rid of it. Cavalry have arrived in enough time.
Ball without. Tacklers away.
Scarra and Rowley back there, ready to clear if needed.
Tell you, whatever happens, make touch. Oof.
Charge down. Nobody knew where the ball was momentarily. Chloe Rowley wrapped up by Bryony Field. Field and Sellers, the two scorers for Sarries that have pushed them out to this 11-point advantage. And this pressure has got the Saracens coaching staff on their feet.
Yeah, and the pressure keeps coming now. Ball didn't make touch, and there's loads of space out to the left if Saracens can go looking and hunting for it.
Alejandro opting to just straighten, give them a platform. Casolo round the corner, got the shout to get the support away. Oh, it's super linking play from Saracens, continuing to come forwards. They've got the numbers as Taylor comes back against the grain once more. 5 metres short now. Sellers with the dummy. Seller will sell everything. Tori Sellers with a second try. And Saracens have just turned it on here. And Loughborough Lightning are struggling to find an answer to it.
They've been class. How about Sellers? Straight off the bench, 2 tries, taking this game away now from Lightning. The biggest margin we've seen in the game up until this point. But Lightning, firstly, charged down from Scarrett. Rarely see that. They get another chance. The ball had to go off the pitch. They're under so much pressure. But fair play to Saracens, keeping the ball live. Lovely ball from Zoe Harrison, just expressing the ball from right through to left. Then Sellers under pressure. Scarrett jumps out. Sellers goes over her second.
Yeah, sorry, mate, again.
There'll be one that got away for Zoe Harrison.
How's this game now a 16-point margin?
You can, mate, yeah.
Saracens, they haven't been at their very best today, but my words, in the last few minutes just there, when they can connect the dots and go through the gears, they're a brilliant team. That's about 11 different changes from last week.
Up for 1 and 9.
So Amelia Williams coming on for Loughborough Lightning.
Lines up in the back, goes number 1.
8th match for Amelia Williams, but perhaps more of today is about Jenny Maxwell. Those are the cheers you can hear from the bench. First Premiership Women's Rugby appearance in 2 years. It's her last match for Lightning. Knee injury, multiple issues. Great to see her able to say goodbye. Rolly got around Bridger, but Bridger eventually doing the work. Maxwell on for Ives Campion. Played England under-20s, Ives Campion. With England as well, but uncapped as Rowley just manages to tiptoe away through. Oh, but the pass for Westcombe Evans was a little short. Just killed the momentum on it, didn't it? Now Maxwell for the late arriving Amelia Williams. Another one of those under-20s.
Barnage roll clear first.
Saracens being penalised now. They might just find some room here. Just right on the fingertips from both sides, isn't it? Scantlebury trying to find some room. Hibbert Jones. Another one of those right in the fringes of that Red Roses squad, just the one cap. And against Australia last year when Sadia Kabea was out for a short spell. Penalty Loughborough. Well, we know this is a game where Loughborough can't get higher up the table. Just wonder how much character Nathan Smith wants to see them show here before they're allowed to head off and order themselves a pina colada or two.
Well, Chloe Rolly, who's looked very good, been very dangerous, ball in 2 hands, puts her boot down. You just really are desperate for her to try and find Westcombe Evans. I think that ball goes to hand, and she ends up scoring. Saracens fringing, not rolling away at the breakdown, provided this opportunity now.
Time back on.
20 tries in her 65 cap Scotland career. That wasn't straight.
Option
Key moment there. Catherine Tredder with hands on their head. She has 9 siblings, Catherine Tredder. She's the second oldest. There's a remarkable film done with the USA Eagles. Worth popping her name into YouTube and having a watch of that. Really fascinating as an Alaskan native. And how she's balanced life, chasing a rugby career, but also having raised many of her siblings like a parent. The emotional tie is very strong. The value of that rugby family, while she spends her time over here, of course, critical. Thought that was interesting about Akina Gondwe, saying that, you know, she's been made part of this team. Often you can feel that teams, when you walk into them, I guess, have an element of clique, a lot of established relationships. So it says a lot about the welcoming nature of Saracens that they've voted Gondwe their player of the season, and just her first season with them since leaving Worcester.
And for Gondwe, I mean, you talk about having another opportunity, a second lease of life, and rebooting yourself and being desperate to take an opportunity that you thought might have been taken away from you. Well, she's come into such a high-performing environment, and the season she had has been outstanding.
Crouch. Bind.
Hearing that up at Sale, Bristol Bears have managed to get themselves a 4th try, which is the 1 bonus point score that they need. So regardless of the result, it was just 1 point that they needed. Still plenty of time to play up there, but that is just what they wanted. Means we have a Saracens-Bristol semi-final, which will be our first next Sunday, and then Gloucester Hartpury against Exeter Chiefs after that. Those rivalries run so deep in this league.
How big. And for Exeter going to Gloucester, knowing that the finals at Exeter, like they needed any extra incentive.
Saracens inside the 22 then, trying to find a way out, and look at the strength. May Campbell off the bench, as is Chloe Flanagan. Moore. Sellers. Oh, Casolo's just lost it. Just took her eyes up, seeing that defence coming towards it. Will be the possession for Lightning.
Okay. Loughborough 2 and 3, sub please.
A couple of changes being made. Treader and Keats making way.
Okay.
Maya Muller. And Tiwa Adjayansere. First ever PWR game for Adjayansere. Leicester University has also been playing at Buckingham Swans. Was spotted, invited to come and spend a bit of time training with Loughborough Lightning. Been there since around October, played half an hour against Sale in the Prem Cup in April. Loughborough have put all their players over on the right. Hibbert-Jones was expected to do the job of supplying it to Maxwell. She had to go back and help her number 8 out a little bit, as Nelson saw the dogleg defence come up on the right-hand side and has done really well to sense that it might be on the left as a result. Hibbert-Jones takes it from her. Really good from Nelson to back the switch of attack there. And now she's at first receiver again. Missed pass into the middle. Muller scored a couple of tries a couple of weeks ago. Scarrett shipped it on for Rowley. Rowley for the corner. Chloe Rowley will go in and do it herself. Opened the scoring for Lightning this afternoon, and she's got their 4th. Lightning are not done yet. We might be inside the last 10 minutes. But they are still chasing down this record of never having beaten Saracens. Can they take it down to a 9-point game?
Yeah, there's still life in this game with 8 minutes to go. Chloe Rowley, she's been excellent today. Mention her name time and time again in attack and her attempt. I'll tell you what, Helen Nelson, 10, 12, it really doesn't matter. She's just a wonderful rugby player, searching for those soft edges and for that space. And they stretch Saracens from left all the way through to right. The handling once again under pressure, and then the acceleration, deception, and second try.
Conversion is good from Scarrett. Lightning up to 24, Saracens 33.
They're a great side to watch, I have to say.
14.
I think they're passing, talking about the basic skills in inverted commas. Under pressure, they've done it time and time again. And whilst this might feel like year one for them, new coaches, you mentioned half a dozen big signings at the end of the season. If they can all weave into this style of rugby, they'll be a brilliant team to watch every single week next year.
Amelia McDougall on for Zoe Harrison, was playing in that under-20s game against Wales. All that sat really nicely for Bridger. It might be creating just a counter-attack opportunity for Scantlebury after it was knocked on. Maxwell.
The only disappointing thing, there's 6.5 minutes of this left. So entertaining.
Now, you'd take another 20, wouldn't you?
Don't think the players would.
Not at all.
Manage over.
Bridger stepping in at first receiver a couple of times, and it's worked nicely to feed Campbell, thundering to the 22. Sellers looks to the left side. Now Bridger mixing it up with a little chip through. Under pressure. And it'll be the goal line clearance.
How about this, Bridger? This is outstanding. It's not just the catch. Look at the offload. Keep the ball alive. And then another opportunity there. That's a really good line. Big handoff. It's been a class last 18 months for Sophie Bridger, hasn't it?
She receives the dropout as well. Interesting, having made the move from Gloucester Hartpury. Emma Taylor to offload that back in field. I don't even know that McKenna was behind her.
White throw. Yeah.
Took the decision to leave. Gloucester Hartpury having won the league there. Sophie Bridger. Was it worth the move? Well, 12th start. They've all been at inside centre. Had 10 starts the season before, only 5 of them at 12. So if you're looking to build yourself into a role and try and stand out, well, perhaps that club move and to own a shirt is how you do it. And that move to Saracens has proved pretty useful for her.
England cap to boot as well.
That was hooked a little by Nelson.
Yeah, that was like me on the golf course. Nowhere near the fairway.
Ball.
More called.
One, Sarries. Start using Sarries.
It was back in there with Casolo, but I don't know at the minute if Sellers knows where it is, and it's gone down on this side. It will be Loughborough Lightning possession. Frustration and hands on hips from Grace Moore, I think, tells the story.
Okay, Mark's here.
Good work from Taufoto right in the centre of things. Started throughout that Pacific 4 competition for the Eagles in the second row. Turned 30 last Sunday. Happy birthday, Hallie.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I know, just caught me.
So this is a big set here.
You okay? Okay.
It's the Lightning giving themselves a glimmer of hope. It's still a 9-point game. They could quite try a penalty.
Bind. Set.
Nelson.
Ripped by Sarries, play on. Ripped
away.
by Sarries.
It was backwards. Maxwell's gone in to try and play it away. The penalty's going to go against Fee McIntosh.
Okay, got to be really ambitious now with this kick from Nelson. Send this as long as possible.
Sellers. Looked lively since she's been on, avoids the whitewash, but
just going dead.
Absolutely overcooked that.
Option 22 or swim, I think. Yep,
Well, we're enjoying the PWR. We've got semi-finals to look forward to, but there's a final first of all next weekend. Northampton Saints against Bath. We may be at the home of the Saints today, but Twickenham will be where it all takes place. TNT Sports 1 Saturday, 2 o'clock. Absolutely cannot wait for that one. A mouth-watering final and a new name on the cup. And then those 2 PWR semi-finals. It'll be Saracens against Bristol from 1:30. TNT Sports 1 on Sunday. And then Gloucester Hartpury against Exeter Chiefs. Saracens, who when they went to Shaftesbury Park, lost out 35 points to 10. So that is going to be such a tasty one. And as you mentioned, Hugo, Exeter Chiefs, the venue of the final, already pre-decided. Gloucester Hartpury hosting the Chiefs. Penalty to Loughborough Lightning. Hugo, who's impressed you this afternoon?
Well, Sellers coming off the bench of Saracens. I mean, what an impact. She's had 2 tries, really, with a sense of vitality and speed around the base. But for me, the outstanding player, in amongst a lot of quality players on the pitch, is the Canadian captain, Sophie de Goody. She is truly world class. Back from international duty, her first start in a while for Saracens. How good is she?
Yeah, got to try on Canadian duty against the USA, and that thumping 7 points to 50 win. And she's come straight back in form for club as well. Faris.
Advantage 16 entry.
We're under penalty advantage all the way.
Number 16. Entry.
Into the last half minute.
Oh, 3 penalties in about 2 or 3 minutes now for Saracens. But unfortunately, Lightning not only just playing Saracens, they're playing against the clock. 18 seconds to go, but they'll want to finish this season with a bang.
It's been a much better game in terms of their own discipline as well. They conceded the second most penalties in the league, Loughborough Lightning, but certainly been much better today.
Ball. One series backwards.
Cabea able to just pull that out of the middle and serve it on a plate for Maxwell. Or she was wondering where the support had gone for a minute. There was nobody there, but Leah Green, another of the England under-20s, was there to take it forwards. It's been wrestled away. And a chance for Saracens to end this. McDougall waits for it. It'll be Sellers who clears it. Over the dead ball it goes. The final whistle goes. Well, an admirable performance from the home side who are looking to build into next season with solid displays. They won't finish better than 5th. They won't finish with the victory that they would have loved over this Saracens side. But with their home semi-final in place next week, which we now know will be against Bristol Bears, Saracens have shown the sort of strength that we expect, scoring 5 tries, managing to muscle their way past whatever Loughborough Lightning were determined to throw at them. It's finished Loughborough Lightning 24, Saracens 33 on the last day of the season.